So
Yeah.
we're back. We're live. The man that we have, InstantClassic8, is back. We've done multiple basketball videos, many live streams together, but we realized we never done a YWC talk video, YWC stories. How did Brandon, InstantClassic8, join YouTube? So Brandon, what's up?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, everyone? I didn't know if you want me to dive right into that answer because really excited.
So the question I always ask everyone, and you were there with Truth Slayer, how did you find the YWC? What was the day?
The day. So, I don't recall like the specific date, honestly, but I know like what really turned me into like paying attention to the YWC, and it was 2007. I was at ODU. This was my college. This would have been my sophomore year, I think. And I was sitting there watching Raw, and it was an episode. I think it was either a pay per view. I don't know what pay per view it was, but either way, it was an episode of Raw where it's almost like a who done it, where all these wrestlers were starting to get like attacked backstage, but you didn't really know what was going on. So they had like Edge was getting attacked, and then Kennedy was getting attacked, and Orton was getting attacked, and really couldn't find out what was going on. And it was literally the most excited I've been for WWE, and probably for that period of time, maybe like 6 months or so. So I was super into this whole storyline, whatever they had going on. But at the end of the show, it turned out that the person that was doing all this was the Great Khali, and it was just for him to get to Cena. And my disappointment in that storyline. What's that?
I don't remember this at all.
You don't remember this?
No.
Yeah.
I don't remember the only remember I remember is Vince Lima blowing up. That was the only whodunit I could think of.
Well, that was multiple. That was at least multiple weeks, I guess 2 or 3 weeks. This was literally just for the show itself. But like I said, everyone was getting laid out, and people thought it was Cena. They thought he maybe was turning heel or something like that, or at least that may be the thought that I had. But either way, it was the Great Khali, and I was super, super disappointed. And I just started thinking to myself, was like, WWE sucks, man. And this was after me going on, like I said, a 6-month hiatus of WWE, coming back and seeing this was like, dude, this sucks. So I for some reason, it just brought me to YouTube, and I just went ahead and searched WWE sucks and just see what comes up on there. And the first video that came up was it was entitled WWE Sucks TNA Rules, but it was a response. So basically, the first video that I saw was a response to a Bill and Doug video. I don't even remember who the guy was. It wasn't no one that was like major or anything at all. But I just watched that video. I'm like, what is he talking about? And I was watching TNA at that time, so what he was saying was not really sticking with me. But what he was going against, I didn't really understand until I actually watched Bill and Doug's video. And then from there, I think I watched a couple of their videos that night. And then from there, it literally just like it brainstormed to me like, yo, if they can do this and I have my own feelings and my own reactions, I can get on the internet and do this as well.
So you right away started making videos?
I would say when I saw that video, that was like around April. I would say within a week or so, I made a video. When I first made a video, it was under a completely different account that I had at that time. It was, I think I just did an audio as well. And it was a response to someone. It was like, I don't even remember. It wasn't them. It wasn't even the guy I initially saw, but it was a person that he said some stuff that I just did not agree with. And I did a video response to him. Like I mentioned in the last video with old YouTube, when you watch someone's video, if someone were to respond to them, their video would actually appear right underneath, so you can actually see that. And I did that for him, and I just said a couple facts on there, and people were, they liked what I said. And granted, again, they didn't see who I was. It wasn't that many views at all, but it was just something like, okay, like some people do dig what I say. This is something that I can, definitely be able to do kind of going forward. And like I said, that was an old account. That account got, I think, shut down because I used to upload like basketball videos and everything. And this is like when YouTube was super strict on that stuff, on copyrights and everything. So that account got shut down, and that's when I created the InstantClassic8 channel.
So you're hating WWE, you're watching TNA. So when did you start again watching indie wrestling?
Indie was, it would have been that year. Like, I mean, YouTube is very much responsible for diversing or being diverse when it comes to my taste in wrestling. I didn't know what Ring of Honor was before I started to get on YouTube. Again, I was only watching WWE, and I had just been watching TNA for about a year or so at that point in time. So I didn't really know anything about the indies, especially like Ring of Honor. But once I started to see like True Slayer's videos and all these other guys, just the fact that they were talking about Ring of Honor, it just kind of got me interested into it myself. I didn't really buy like DVDs or anything at all, and I wasn't really doing like torrenting at that point in time, so I wasn't like doing anything illegal. My first exposure to it was the pay-per-view, which was oh god, I forgot the name of the pay-per-view. I literally just had it in my DVD video. But it was their first pay-per-view. It was like June or so, and when I saw that pay-per-view, it was I think I saw like a torrent on there that I was able to download, and I watched that pay-per-view, and I was really impressed with it. I didn't really know any names, so I was definitely confused by that, but I was definitely impressed with what I saw. And then I kept up with it. The next pay-per-view they had was a couple months down the road. It was called Driven, and that show had a match between Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness, and that match completely changed the way I look at wrestling. I've said that so many times. That match is definitely one of my favorites. I caught that on a replay. I would say probably the next day after the pay-per-view aired. I bought the replay. It was $10, and I bought that show, and I just absolutely loved it. And then from there, I started to buy the DVDs and actually learn the guys' names. You can see in my early videos when I started talking about Ring of Honor, I really didn't know like names. I really didn't know what I was talking about, but you'll see like the evolution of going through my stuff that I just started to learn and pick up on more. And like I said, just started to get the DVDs, go back to the library, seeing all the different stuff with like, the people I was watching in TNA with like Samoa Joe or somebody like, CM Punk was watching in WWE, just getting like to learn all of their history. It was really cool at that time.
What was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So you make YouTube videos. How do you meet everybody? How do you meet Truth Slayer? How do you meet Classic Big Rat? How do you meet them?
So yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure it was Chase, who's C Dude 9590. I think it was him who brought me into the whole Skype universe. I didn't even have Skype before that. The only thing I was doing when it came to like chatting with like people online, when it came to like wrestling, I used this little chatting service called Pal Talk. And Pal Talk was basically just like a bunch of chat rooms that you can go in. And I remember they had like a sports section, and they had wrestling. They had wrestling rooms that you can go in, and I would say they probably had like 6 or 7 different ones. And this is just, people can make their own room, and they can have like a community and whatnot. So I was doing that for a while. I even created my own room and was running that for almost a year, and I had like a good amount of mods, and we were doing things really well. But that kind of died down, and when that was dying down, it was actually when I was trying to get, or at least they were trying to convert me to come over to Skype. Like I said, I didn't have downloaded at that point in time, but I went ahead and downloaded it, and they brought me in. Of course, I wouldn't say nervous, but new territory. I don't know what to say. Maybe sure I don't say the wrong things or anything at all. But everybody was cool. Like I said, it was Truth Slayer was there. If you guys remember, Crazy Mike 1706, Monoxide was in there, MB Wrestler. There was a lot of guys, and of course, it would definitely change, and we would just hop on Skype, and like we said in the last video, they classified us as the Skype talkers for a long time. They're thinking they were just
Skype talker versus Click.
What's that?
I want to make the Skype talkers versus Click.
I mean, you can definitely do that for sure. It's just like I said, it was a lot of unnecessary drama that they was just brought onto us for no reason. I think that sometimes at least the people in the group kind of fed into it, but it was fine. It was fun to see. But again, they thought we were just sitting there and we just completely trashing the YouTube community, which again we weren't doing that. We were just geeks, and we were just sitting online and just watching wrestling.
That's what people thought about us when I joined the Click or whatever, and then Ravi's like, "Oh, now everyone's gonna hate you because everyone thinks we make fun of everybody." When you really we're just. We don't even talk. Half the time we don't even talk wrestling. We just talk about random stuff.
We make fun of each other. We make fun of ourselves.
I think, we meme each other versus everyone else. Yeah. We don't really care about everyone else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we definitely did that as well. Shout out to my guy ECW Hardcore 07 Jim. He used to come in the chat all the time, and we would just make fun of him, just the different things that he would say. But yeah, it was never anything malicious or anything at all. Granted, we discussed, if there was stuff going on within, we didn't really call it the YWC at that point in time, but if there was stuff going on YouTube, that was kind of like in our field. I mean, yeah, we definitely discussed it and whatnot. But we were never, again, there was nothing malicious at all. We were literally just hanging out until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning watching wrestling like nerds. So I don't really see what the big deal was, but at that point in time, like I said, people just did not like us at all.
So 2010, I joined the YWC quotation marks. I feel like you guys, like the 2007 guys, were saying how the YWC is dead. I feel like I always got that vibe. Like around 2010, 2011, people would be like, "Is the YWC dead?" Were you one of those people?
Because when I joined and when these guys were doing it, I think the videos were a little bit different than what we had down the road. I think with us, it was a little bit more about discussion, a little bit more about things that we're liking in the company, things that we don't, responding to each other, and kind of communicating that way. Once like 2010, 2011, 2012 came, that's when you start to get all the vlogs. That's when you start to get all the merch videos and all that stuff, and which was cool. Like I like that transition. It was really cool to see because a lot of us, we would record things here and there, but none of us doing like very long blogs or anything at all. And I think that was a nice evolution when it came to the YWC. So I'm not gonna say it was dead. It was just kind of reformed into a different way. If that makes sense.
But then in 2012 is when it actually died. I feel like 2012, 2013, that was it. After that, it became like I lost track after 2014. I don't even know. Like if it wasn't a part of like someone I knew or like a friend of a friend, that's just like I just lost track. So to me, the YWC died in like 2013.
Wow.
2012
Are you saying it died because of the people weren't
like
making videos anymore, or?
Well, I feel like it lost, like when in like 2011, you guys were probably like, oh man, like we lost like the discussions and stuff, but it kind of worked out in a good way because the vlogs and like the merch videos kind of picked up and a lot of people liked them and enjoyed them and liked making them. And then after that, it kind of like became like a mix of like I feel like around that time is when the like just the random person in their basement or in their room making a video about wrestling, it turned into these companies and these big websites that kind of like realized what's going on and how people like videos, and then they came on, and then at that point, like people who watched those videos started making videos, and it got bigger and bigger to the point where like it just got too big. Like I feel like in 2011, everybody kind of knew each other or they knew of each other. You know what I mean? Like there was always like I talked to this guy who knows of this guy because he watches his videos, and like it felt smaller. And then like 2014 came around, and it's like I'm losing hold of this. Like there's so many people that I don't even know like where they came from. You know what I mean?
I remember so WWE stole unboxing videos from us. They started unboxing their own stuff.
Yeah,
that's when things were getting bad. I was like,
that's when those, like you said, the vlogs, the unboxings, that's when like all those videos, got big and whatnot. And like I said, it was just a little bit of a change. Again, I kind of came around when it was a little bit more discussion, and I can think that the climate of wrestling, kind of differs from that. So if things are not super exciting, you don't really want to talk about wrestling on there. But like you said, like 2011, things kind of a little different, like with the Punk stuff and everything. People got a little bit more excited. The Rock came back. I know I got re-energized for that. So that was really cool. But like you said, over time, it kind of just became all of the same things. Even though, like I said, I love the vlogs, living vicariously through people, through other stuff in there is really cool. But, it just, I think the discussion kind of got away. I just didn't enjoy that too much.
Because also Twitter got big around that time.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And that kind of killed like the discussions. So
2011 revived everything, like revived everything. I assume Rock Cena revived everything. Like when did when did making videos like stop or like slow down to a halt pretty much?
For me?
Yeah.
I mean, I was making videos, I would say pretty regularly through like 2016 or so. And like that's when like 2016 is like when my like true love for WWE kind of faded away. And with my channel, when it comes to YouTube, I'm not dumb. I know that if I put up a New Japan video or Ring of Honor or whoever, it's not going to get that many views on there. Everyone wants to see with WWE. And the fact that I wasn't really in tune to the product at that point in time, and with me, like if you go back and literally like the early videos that I have, you can hear me mention like I don't really like to complain about stuff on the internet. Like there's no point. If I complain, I'm gonna have some type of solution or something behind it on there. I did a whole series. I've actually never gone back and watched them, but I should. I did a whole series of videos. I think it's called TNA A Fan's Plea. And I don't even know if I remember being upset at that point in time. And I'm pretty sure I complained. I don't know if I came with like any type of solutions at all, but stuff like that I just did not want to do. And then, like I said, when my affinity for WWE kind of faded away, it's like, do I really want to make these videos? Yeah, I can talk about WrestleMania. I can talk about a trip. I can go here and there, but to continuously talk about it when I'm not really enjoying it, I don't think that's going to do my audience any time to due diligence. So I'm not even going to talk about it. If something comes up, I'll put turn the camera on and we'll be able to discuss it. But again, when the top dog in the industry kind of goes away and I kind of lose love for it, it's like I've kind of lost love for making videos as well.
You still watch Vince, as you love to call it, because at WrestleMania 30, I didn't know what Vince was until we roomed together. So why do you still watch WWE then? Why bother?
Well, I don't really like the most that I've watched within like the last 3 years have been within the past couple of months, and that's just specifically for us. We're indoors, so like we do the pay-per-view, we can watch that, but I don't watch Raw or SmackDown at all. I don't even watch NXT anymore. I just don't feel like it's worth the time.
There's no quarantine. You wouldn't be watching any of it or most of the stuff.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, like I like if there was no quarantine, I doubt I would watch WrestleMania. Like last year, when I watched half of WrestleMania, was it 35? I watched half of WrestleMania 35 and didn't care about watching the other half at all. Like that really that speaks volume with myself. Like how much am I really enjoying this if I don't even want to watch a half of WrestleMania on there? So yeah, if it wasn't for quarantine, I would absolutely not be watching these shows. When we're online and we're streaming on this, I have fun talking to you guys and cracking jokes and whatnot. But as far as like being 100% interested in the show, no, I can't. It's been a very long time, and it sucks for sure because it's what I grew up with. From 1996 until now, being a wrestling fan is what I grew up with. So it really sucks when the top dog, I'm not really into it. Maybe that'll change in the future, but right now it's just not looking likely.
Are you ever gonna do another Mania, or are you gonna do like last time, where you fly in, go to New Japan, and leave?
I mean, I guess this all depends on what's going on, the location on there. I enjoy WrestleMania weekend. I don't really have any issues with it. Granted, would I want to sit through a 7-hour WrestleMania right now in person? Absolutely not. I can even do that on my couch here. But as far as like the trips on there, I still enjoy the idea of going on the trip, the idea of being able to see like different indie shows and whatnot. But the main thing is just being able to link up with all your friends that you haven't seen in a couple years, and be able to kind of share that that weekend with them, be able to do different stuff, whether it be going to wrestle shows together or going out to eat together, like we did a couple years ago or whatnot. It's really fun to do that. So I'm not going to say that no, I'm not going to WrestleMania. It just depends on what happens in the future for sure.
So I think next year, Wrestle Dynasty, New York. We're all
Wrestle
going.
Dynasty. I mean, yeah, that would be cool. Like, I mean, it's the fact that if we could all meet up somewhere other than WrestleMania would be nice. Obviously, AEW's there, and I know you guys have done All Out, Revolution, Double or Nothing. You guys have done all these pay-per-views before, but
we've hit every AEW pay-per-view besides what was the one in Baltimore? Full Gear.
Yeah. I actually almost went to that show, but I decided against it. But yeah, like I said, I mean, the fact that we have that right now, we don't have to, necessarily wait for Mania to come around. We can kind of use other shows to be able to do that. But, it's always fun. WrestleMania weekend. I mean, you've done one, you want to keep doing them over and over. And, even your bad experiences that you have, I don't think it's going to deteriorate you too much for you wanting to be able to do it again in the future. So if a time comes right and, the stars align, I will absolutely do another one.
So I'm going through your old videos from like 2009, 2010, 2011.
That's embarrassing.
And I'm just like reading the titles just to like see what's going on. And So you have a WWE Raw review from June 27th, 2011. It's 4 seconds long, and it's probably the greatest review of all time. And
Let's hope. What's the date again? Tell me the date.
It's June 27th. It's the Punk promo.
Okay, cool.
So it's just, you say like, it's just greatest promo of all time, and that's it. Like that 4 second video has 51 thumbs ups and 4 dislikes. I feel like if you did that same thing for something today, no doubt in my mind that gets like 200 thumbs downs, and like it becomes like, oh, like why didn't you review this show, like blah blah blah. So I don't know where I was going.
I don't
with
know.
this,
I don't know if that. I knew I did that a couple times. I had a
yeah,
couple videos that were probably like less than a minute long. I was
I
just going
love it.
there, have like
The
a raw or
best.
something like that, just give my quick review. I think I did one. It was the day or like the week that the Matt Hardy video came out when he was eating the grapes and everyone thought he was going crazy. I did something like that. I know my I won't say fan base, but my audience, I guess they just kind of got what I did. And like I
Yeah.
said, I tried stuff every now and then. I kind of brought people into videos every now and then to kind of mix things up. But yeah, like stuff like that. Like I said, it was just turn the camera on really quickly, record something, put it up, and the fact that you said it gets all those thumbs up is just it's crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's like it was more like more free and more like creative, I guess you can say. Even though that something like this, where it's just a 4 second, 5 second video, it's like, well, like what's creative about that? But no, I mean, we were just uploading stuff just for the heck of it. You know what I mean? Just to pop ourselves, just to pop everybody else. Like that's what I miss about YouTube. But
Yeah, I think I did one. Speaking of popping, I think I did one. I don't remember what it was. It was Happy Birthday to Somebody. It was a Seamus, I think was in the title. And then I think
look it
I
up.
mixed it up with like Chris Benoit. It was just something stupid I did, like you said, to pop myself for sure. But yeah, we had that time. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if, I do videos here and there, but I'm not into like the quick edits and the snaps and like putting the music and stuff. Even I could do it. Like it's not a problem. I can spend time and be able to do that stuff. But it's just like I just want to get my thoughts up there. You see
Yeah,
it, a couple minutes and then just kind of move on from there.
it's the good old days. Let me tell you.
I do miss, like I said, I was very active during those time periods. I definitely miss those days for sure.
Yeah, we were also naive, and now it's like people are turning what we did into businesses, and it's just like, man, remember those days when
Well,
we just
like you
upload a four
said,
second video?
like when you have like these, I'm not gonna call them a conglomerate at all, but when you have these giant, what culture comes along, or you have
Yeah.
Russell Talk, or you have, all these people in there, like they're like, I won't say hogging, another word, Russell Lamia is one I've seen as well. Like they're just pumping out videos constantly, a lot of clickbait stuff, but honestly, that's the game, whatever. I've done clickbait, you see UFC videos on there, I did the same thing, but that's the stuff that I won't say people crave, but that's the stuff that people turn to. And that to each his own for sure, but I definitely like to hear the individual thoughts from the people that are actually putting the stuff out.
So what made you start doing videos again?
Laney has a video that says WWE sent a spot at AEW. Triple H says John Cena's.
What video was that?
Justin just like fall on the floor or something? What happened to Justin? Justin. I don't know what happened to Justin.
Canadian internet. What was the question you asked, Mike?
So what made you make videos again? Like you uploaded 2 in like a week.
I mean, I never quit. It's just when I really want to talk about something, then I'll do it. Like I've had the idea of making videos literally like it's never stopped. Like I always like, okay, I'm gonna make a video today. I even like write out like I don't want to say scripts, but I write out like bullet points and stuff that I want to hit. I have plenty of like notes on my phone, the iPhone notes of like ideas for videos that I want to make. But it's like at the end of the day, like, do I really want to make this? How many people are going to look at this? Especially, with my audience, it's definitely diminished over the years. I mean, it still shows subscribers on there, but obviously it's kind of, it's a lot of that stuff's probably dead or whatnot. But it's like, do I really want to do this? How bad do I want to talk about this topic? It's something I can easily go on Twitter and just put my quick thoughts out. But again, if it's something that I really wanted to do, I'll definitely be able to make a video with it. And it came up to when I was cleaning out my closet and I was just going through all my stuff. It's like, okay, cool. It'd be cool. I can actually just show this stuff on camera so people can see the type of stuff that I do have, the type of like merch or whatever, or like my favorite DVDs. And I've done DVD top 10s and stuff for years. Like you can go back and see all that stuff. So again, it's never me like leaving the YWC. It's just whenever I feel the time is right to make a video, I'll definitely pop back in.
Mm-hmm. I know, because I was watching your top 9 wrestling DVDs, and I'm like listening to you talk about these old like Ring of Honor shows, and like I'm just, man, like I wish I would have been around at this time, because it would have been so much fun to like follow Ring of Honor and then like go to the shows, like that one Chicago one that was filmed in like the summer and then it wasn't like shown online until November. Like that's
Right.
unheard of today. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just such a fun time in wrestling, I feel like,
Yeah, and it was cool to see a company, even though of course they had been around for a while when I started watching, but to see a company grow, like again when I first started watching them, it was DVDs. You had to buy a DVD literally 2 or 3 months after the show happened, you would get the DVD, and then when the pay-per-views came on, it was 2 months after the show happened they would come on pay-per-view, and then 2009 Final Battle is when they finally started to do internet pay-per-view, and it was the worst quality, the worst service at all, but just the fact that we could get live Ring of Honor, it was so crazy. And they had a couple pay-per-views and it built up 2010 they had Death Before Dishonor 8, and it wasn't like, it's nothing like AEW is now, but like the buzz behind that show back then, it was so crazy, and the fact that it delivered, it was insane.
2007 Final Battle, I feel like everyone had that damn promo on their friggin' like featured video. When you click a video and you can put any featured video, it was that damn Steen Generico. Like, well, how does it start
the
again?
2010?
Yeah. Everyone's banner was that. Everyone talked about that show.
I mean, that was a quality feud. I mean, that was when I had started watching Ring of Honor in 2007. I mean, they were a great tag team. It was Steen and Generico versus Briscoes, and Steen and Generico versus the Wolves, and Steen and Generico versus Danielson and Aries, and it was really cool. And we had been saying for years, I mentioned my buddy Jim because he kept bringing it up, like that Steen is going to turn or Generico's going to turn. Well, Generico was a super baby face, so we were like, Steen's going to turn. And it was literally like 2 years before it actually happened, which was that Final Battle 2009. But when it happened and he clocked him in the head with the chair, it was like, dude. And it's just that whole year was just their feud, and it was so awesome. It built up. It was a super blood feud, and it paid off the next year at Final Battle with that crazy lights out match. It was a cool time for sure.
And everybody's YouTube page back in 2010 was, you want to know why I attacked El Generico? Remember that?
Yeah, it was a great promo. That was that wrestling show. I remember that I was such a fan. Like, he was a kid. I think he was like 16 years old making those videos for Ring of Honor. He even inspired me. Like I said, I have a whole channel where I've done like promos. It's nothing as good as that. But it was something where I kind of got into it as well, just seeing like the passion that he was able to do. But yeah, I absolutely remember that promo. That promo was huge.
I just remember, like, I feel like it became like a meme in the YWC of having that video on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, like I said, I think people everyone was just excited. Like I said, ROH was growing at that time, and it was an exciting time. And the fact that it built up, and Final Battle 2010 was a great show. It was just really cool to see everybody behind it.
That's my first ever show I ever watched live, and then I bought the DVD, and I have it signed by both of them. So.
Yeah, that was one of the big things when it came to being in the YWC, was with me passing on, I wouldn't say knowledge, but stuff that I like trying to pass on to other people. So I think it was Final Battle, but it could have been The Big Bang. But I started to do these videos. They were called, for those not familiar or something like that, it was basically almost like a pay-per-view preview that I would do. And it was basically just to get people to know what Ring of Honor was and to get them to know that the pay-per-view was coming. And my goal, I think I said it a couple times, my goal was if I could get one person that wasn't going to buy the show to buy the show, I felt like I did the right thing. So again, I did that for, I would say 3 or 4 pay-per-views in a row before they really got, good as far as, promoting and everything. But that was one of my favorite things to do. I would put like the little promo to kind of go over the matches beforehand, and I would talk about it. And then that wrestling show, I would put his promo at the very end just to kind of make a whole video. And like I said, that's as far as like some of the projects that I've done on there, that's definitely one of my favorites. I've had people, I even still have people now. I think a guy messaged me or commented on like one of my last videos, say, hey, like your video is what got me into Ring of Honor, and seeing stuff like that was really cool. And the fact that I loved it when we were in Atlanta for Ring of Honor. We went to the Ring of Honor show, and they had a little fan convention or whatever before the second show. And I remember, I'm not gonna say by names, but some of the guys, they were like, "Hey, I know you. I've seen your video. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for doing this and that." And I was like, dude, like just hearing that, it was it was so cool to see, man. So like I said, that was definitely one of my favorite projects that I definitely did in the YWC, which is putting people on the Ring of Honor and just making sure they were aware of this other wrestling product that was out there.
That was the best thing about it back in the day of YouTube, was if you didn't know about something, someone else did, and they would tell you about it. Because that's through YouTube is how I found Ring of Honor. Like I wouldn't have known it if I wasn't in the Skype calls and watching videos about it and all that fun stuff. So
I feel the tribalism wasn't as bad back then, so people, if you told them about Ring of Honor, they would be a little bit more keen to it. But I feel like now, just like the AEW, WWE war, it's so stupid. It's such tribalism.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think, I don't know, man. Like I said, that back during that time, I think people were a little bit more open. So I enjoyed that time a little bit more.
It felt like there was a lot less people just in the world back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like you didn't have like all these people going crazy about AEW versus WWE. It was just like, hey,
We thought that it was TNA versus WWE back then. What do you mean?
But
I mean, that's what they say. But TNA, I mean, as much as I love them, they were never at a level to it'd be anything close to what WWE was, to even bring any type of fight to the table at all. I remember, 2010 when they went on Monday night, it was embarrassment. Like they went on there and got slaughtered every single week, to the point where they had to come on 2 months later. It was like, we listened to the fans, we're gonna move back to Thursday. Like, no, the fans didn't say that. Even though the fans was like, yo, you shouldn't go to Monday. The fans didn't say that. You just lost what you guys wanted to do. So, like I said, I think it's a little bit different back then than it is now. It's because AEW is a little bit more of a higher level, obviously, than TNA. But like I said, you still had your little bit of tribalism, obviously, with guys like Bill and Doug and other people that, they really weren't really listening to anybody else. They were kind of dismissing everything. And they even said, I know Doug has said multiple times that, he was stupid for dismissing Ring of Honor because they were so far into TNA. So, like I said, yeah, you had your tribalism back then, but it wasn't as bad as it is today.
There we go. Watch the wrestling you like, and we sometimes stay up till 7 a.m. to watch New Japan together.
Are you asking me, can we?
No. I said we should. I'm telling people that are listening to this, watch whatever you want.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
New Japan videos.
Stay 7 a.m. to watch New Japan together.
Yeah, I did my first one 2013 for Wrestle Kingdom, and I haven't turned back since. So yeah, that was another thing as well, that the internet, and especially YouTube as well, being able to see the clip. Even though I knew New Japan, being able to see like the new regime and seeing like the guys in charge, that definitely helped me out too. So yeah, YouTube's been a huge help, man. I salute YouTube. It's not the greatest platform in the world, obviously, but I've made a whole lot of friends from it, which is crazy. And like I said, I've put up some good videos and had some good times for sure.
That's it.
One day I will take off. One day I will take off the videos of my ex, so I don't keep hoarding those video views. That's the only reason I keep it up, so I can keep getting views. But one day I'll take them off.
Fine, leave it there. It stands to the test of time.
Yeah, we'll see.
You forgot about him,
No, she even knows about it. She still knows it. She said, "Oh, I want to look to see if it's still on there." I'm like, "Yeah, it's still there."
There you go. All right, well, Brandon, thanks for coming on. I know you've been on before, but thanks for coming on and talk about classic YouTube, because it never gets old.
The instant classic, talking about classics.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you in the next one.